Hi guys, it's Darlene from Couture. I'm going to try this transfer again. I was doing this on my live and my phone died. So I started a second live and I finished it, but I'm going to go ahead and do this on my tutorial here so that you can see how it's supposed to be. This is our VW bus. It has the surfboard and palm trees, surf club, and an original since 1969. We're going to use a sign that is just wood boards that are glued together. On the back they are screwed in and they are glued on there as well, and then there's a hanger. This is cedar. We're going to go ahead and paint this. We're going to use the baby wipe method. But I'm going to use Clorox wipes. It works the same. I'm allergic to baby wipes. So we're just going to use Clorox wipes. What it does, it kind of thins down the paint. And all you do is you're going to put a little bit of the paint onto the Clorox wipe and wipe it onto the board. So instead of having to paintbrush and getting the paint on there really thick, it's just going to have a thin coat. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Clorox wipe and I'm going to put some of this paint right onto that. You could put this onto a plate if you wanted to, or a little container. And we're just going to wipe this on here. So you just want to get a thin coat of paint. Want it to be kind of rustic so you can see through it. The chemicals, the Clorox is going to thin it down. There's like water and Clorox and probably a little bit of fragrance in here. Not a lot because I can't smell it, but this is the lemon one. This is the lemon fresh one. But it's really a fast way to paint your board. And I saw this on somebody else's one of their lives one time, and I thought, well, if they can do it with baby wipes, I'm sure I can do it with the Clorox wipes, and it works. So you can use whichever one works best for you, or you can use a paintbrush. Whatever method to get your base coating on. I just wanted to show you from start to finish on this, how to do this and how to get the look that I'm going to achieve. It's kind of a rustic look. You get just a little bit more down here. This is just acrylic craft paint, Americana brand. Get it from Hobby Lobby or Michael's. You could use other brands. There's Walmart brand paint that they have, the cheaper brand. There's Apple. I think that what Walmart has is Apple. It's not a Walmart brand, but it's the type that they carry it. It's a cheaper quality, but it works for this. You only need a little thin coat. We're just putting some color on here basically. So I can see through this. I want to see through to the grain of the wood. I'm going to take my heat gun and I'm going to dry this and sand it, and then we're going to put wax on it and it'll be ready to go. Alright, taking off the gloves, so no more of those. We'll dry this with this heat gun. This is from Uline. It's an industrial heat gun. You can use a hair dryer or you can just let this sit overnight. So you just want to keep moving your heat gun. You don't want to overheat the paint. And it's going to dry really quickly. If it was just straight paint without using the Clorox wipe or a baby wipe, it would take a lot longer to dry. But this kind of waters it down. Okay, I'm gonna feel it. If it feels cold or damp, then it's not dry. Okay, and it feels fine. I'm gonna take a sanding disc. I have a little sanding disc here. It has sandpaper on it. I'm gonna put this over my trash can and I'm gonna sand it because it raises the grain just a little bit. Okay, so I just lightly sanded it. I'm going to take a tack cloth. This is a wax type cloth. It removes all of the dust. You want to do that before you put a transfer down on this. You do not want to put your transfer down onto something that you just sanded, because all of that, the little dust, will just stick to your transfer. All right, now that is ready to wax. This is the wax that I like to use. I get this at Home Depot. You can also purchase it through Amazon. It's Howard Premium Paste Wax. You don't need a lot. You just need a tiny bit, and then just start going in circles. You are just putting a very thin coat of this on your board. You'd use this on a chalkboard as well. And you're doing this so that the transfer doesn't stick to the paint and pull it up. So I put it on and now I'm just kind of buffing it. You really don't need a lot. You can feel that it's nice and smooth. It's not chalky anymore. So that's when you know that you actually have done something to the surface. You've put a little barrier in between the paint and your transfer. So I've put some on and basically buffed it off. You don't want it to be thick and greasy. That won't work. All right, so here's our transfers that we're going to use. I'm going to put the palm tree down in the corner. The words are going to be right there. Going to put our VW bus right here. It's 3 layers. Surfboard will go on top, and then these words will go right here. So the first thing that we'll start with is the main color of the VW bus. That way we can get the wheel wells proper right here so that we know where the tires are going to be. This will be the colored part. This will be white. And then the tires, they will be black. So I chose Couture Teal. I'm going to use that for the main color on the bus. I could have used a darker. I'm kind of thinking that maybe I should use peacock. Maybe it should be, I'm debating on changing my mind on this. I'm kind of thinking that maybe peacock would be a better color rather than the light Couture Teal. All right. I'm going to change my mind on that. I love Couture Teal, but I think that this is going to be a better color for this. I'm going to peel my transfer off of the backer sheet. These are silk screen transfers. They have a fabric in them. It's very similar to when you silk screen a t-shirt. I'm going to press this down on here, and you want to get all your air bubbles out. So you want this to be firmly down onto your wood. You don't want there to be air bubbles underneath this. This wood is a little bumpy, so it may not be exactly perfect because I can feel that there's texture right there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the palm tree down here also. That'll be the next thing that we chalk. I'm going to put this fairly close to the bottom and get all my air bubbles out. I'm going to use my milk chocolate that I mixed. This is a mixed color. I took bark and white and I put it into one of my extra containers. And then I have parakeet. And this will be up here. I can wait on that. This will be overlapping, so we'll wait on that. We'll wait on our words. We'll go ahead and do the body of the VW bus. So you want this to be the consistency of sour cream or yogurt. You're going to stir it. If it is too thick, you add just a touch of water to it with a little spray bottle. You're going to use a squeegee and spread this through the transfer. And then remove any of the excess. You want to work quickly so it doesn't dry on your transfer. Scraping the extra back into your jar. You can reuse that, so it doesn't need to stay on the surface of your transfer. That's just wasteful. We'll put that back into our jar. I'm gonna set my squeegee to the side. Don't need that one. I'm gonna pull this. You want to pull side to side or top to bottom. And all the little dots there, that is on the transfer. It's supposed to be kind of rustic looking. You can see the little things on the silk screen. Those are supposed to be there just like that. Okay, putting that into a water bath. A water bath is simply a container of water that I have sitting there to put the transfer into. You don't want the chalk paste to dry on your transfer. You want to get that into water as soon as possible. I'm going to use this on the tree trunk. These palm trees are two-toned, just like they are here. And there's a little bit of grass down at the bottom, so I'm going to try to leave some of that so that that can be part of the grass and it'll be green. It'll be parakeet. Spreading this down the trunk using my multi-tool. That works really well in these little areas. And put the excess back into my jar. Trying to scrape that and not get it onto the leaf area. All right, now we're ready to work with this. This is our parakeet. It's a bright green. It'll go really nicely with all these colors. All right, I'm gonna grab a little mini squeegee and start spreading this, filling in all of the silk screen. You're pushing this down through the silk screen onto your surface below is what you're doing. And then any of the excess that's left over, that just gets scraped back into the jar. This is such a fun one. I really like this one. I knew when I saw it come out, when I saw this on the preview of what was going to be new, I knew this would be my first one that I did. I had it planned. So I did my unveiling of these, opened my package this afternoon and showed everybody all the new transfers. There's only a couple that didn't come in my package, and that's because I had some issues with the order process, but I will have other packages coming. Peel my transfer, put this into the water bath. All right, so I want to do the next layer here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dry this. So you're constantly moving the heat gun. You don't want to bubble up your chalk paste. You can see it changing color. Then I'm going to turn this down to just air. Okay, and then I'm going to feel it. You want to make sure that it's not hot when you put your next layer on. Okay, because this is going on over chalk paste, I'm going to take my rag that had the wax on it that I waxed the board, and I'm just going to rub this right here. And my boards are probably going to overlap, so I'm going to rub this also. It's just putting a little tiny bit of wax on there. I'm going to feel this and see if it doesn't feel too sticky. I just used this recently. I am not going to fuzz it. I think it's going to be fine. I can see through here, so I'm just lining it up. There are registration marks, but I can see where this needs to be. I'm going to press this down. There is a little groove here where these boards go together, so it might not be exactly perfect, but it will work for us. All right, this was going to be white, but it's not going to show up, so I'm going to grab Storm. I think white is not going to show up at all because this background here. All right, so let me grab Storm. So we'll do a gray. We'll just kind of offset this. That'll be fine. I'm gonna stir this up. It's kind of on the fly, just changing. I could do it bright. I could do it a really bright color. But this will be fine. You know, you just go with it. Sometimes you have to make those decisions, because I was going to do it the white color, but white isn't going to show up against off-white. And take my squeegee and go ahead and get this spread on here. There's not much excess. I didn't put that much on there. I'll scrape what I can off and put it back into the jar. And then I'm going to pull my transfer. Okay, I think that looks good. All right. Okay, we'll go ahead and dry this. You feel it. Okay, you don't want it to be hot. Okay, let's see here. We are going to use orange for this because we changed the color. I think orange will look better up here. So I'm going to go ahead and do orange for that. And then the wheels are going to be black. I want this to stay down. I can see through this. I want to look for the top of the wheel well, and I want to go just slightly down. That's how I want it, right there. And these are going to be black. I'll go ahead and do the wheels first. I'm going to make sure that it's down securely. And I can actually use this to Sorry, that was my other phone starting up. My phone that died during my live. Oh my goodness. I don't know why the battery is draining so fast on it. No idea. It's probably gonna start making lots of sound. I need to turn it back off, is what I need to do. Sorry. What it'll do is it'll start catching up on all the notifications, which is a bunch of Etsy stuff, and it'll start going ka-ching, ka-ching, and it'll start making all sorts of sounds. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put this over on my towel. I have a paper towel that I'm putting all of my my squeegees on. Go ahead and pull this. I'm gonna do the orange. This is orange peel. Did you see my fly? I don't know what it is. Flies, they love this. I don't know why. I had this issue last year that I looked over and there was a fly licking my chalk paste. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. Must taste good. I'm not going to taste it, but it must taste good. So I'm just getting this on with this little multi-tool. I'm going to peel this out. There's my surfboard. And now I just need to do the words. So I have Surf Club. I'm going to put this up here. The back of the board has the thing that joins it together. It makes it a little wobbly. So I just need to be careful when I am pressing down on this. Okay. These words, I want to make sure that they're not on top of that knot. I don't want it to be, and that's exactly where it's going to hit. Do not want it on there. So I'm going to, and it doesn't look good below. Dilemma. All right, how is this going to be? See, the perfect place for it is right there over that, but then it's not going to look right. And it doesn't look good like that. It needs to be at a diagonal. I'm just going to go, I don't like that. I'm going to go lower. That's what I'm going to do, and it's not wanting to stick. Stay, 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 stay. Okay. Does not want to stay down. That is crazy. Okay. All right, so I have my raspberry sorbet, and then I'm gonna put red here. So I want this really bright over here. I want that to pop. I have my squeegee. I'm gonna squeegee sideways. Pressing this through my transfer. I'm gonna squeegee all the excess off. Okay. Pull my transfer. Okay, that did not work. That does not make me happy. Okay. I'm going to take my Clorox wipe and we're going to try to get this off of here. That bled right through. It did not work. We're just going to wipe this. I waxed it, so hopefully it will come off. Gonna get another one. We're just gonna work this area here. It bled through, so it bled through underneath. So I'm wiping it, gonna get this off, and we're gonna try it again. It wasn't down tightly enough onto my surface. Okay, so luckily because I waxed it, I was able to get that off, and it will be fine. It will dry and it will be fine. It's not going to show. I could wipe it one more time just to be sure. All right, so that can happen. It's a brand new transfer and it didn't want to stick. So I'm going to wipe it, and then I'm going to dry this, and we're going to try it again. I'm going to wipe this, I'll clean it up. Okay. Take a paper towel. So that's what you do. If you have a problem like that, you're just gonna wipe it, and you know, sometimes that happens. And we start over. No big deal. No big deal. Gonna make it work. So I want this to be dry before I put it back on. So I'm just trying to dry both sides. Because you want it to be sticky again. Okay, so that's the key, is it's nice and sticky again. And you know, this one was not all the way down. It's not wanting to be all the way down. I'm gonna go ahead and I will wipe this too. Don't know what the deal is. I'll wipe it with the Clorox wipe. That seems to restore the sticky. Maybe I didn't wipe it good enough when I cleaned it before. So we're gonna try that. And then I think it'll be really sticky. Okay. Yeah, it's super sticky now. Okay, I'm gonna dry this. Turning it to air now. Okay. All right, so let me make sure. Okay, you don't want it to be hot. And this is really sticky, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put it down on here. We're gonna try that again. The surface is a little bumpy. That's part of the problem, is that the surface is not flat. It is cedar and it has a little bit of a texture. So we're going to put this down here. We're going to press firmly, and now it's adhering to it. It just wasn't, I think I just didn't clean it well enough after the last time. We're going to try that again. Go ahead and get my squeegee. Actually, I don't see it. I set it to the side. We'll get a new one. Okay, so it's adhered firmly. All right, so sometimes you just have to start over. Thank goodness I waxed it. I was able to just wipe it right off. If it was a chalkboard, it would wipe off really easily. So not all wood wipes off like that. I'm gonna spread this, wipe off the excess into my jar. And then I'm going to peel my transfer. Okay, perfect. All right, so that was just it. I didn't wash it well enough on the back before. So if you worry about it, the Clorox wipes actually restore the sticky. It's pretty crazy. Don't understand the whole concept of it, but it does. And take the red and just use my multi-tool. Don't need very much. I'm gonna spread it right here through the transfer. And put this back into my jar. Okay, and then I'm going to peel my transfer. All right. And it's not perfect because it's bumpy, but it's fine because it's kind of rustic. And that is it. I'm going to put this into my water bath. So I'm glad that I was able to show you that. I'm going to go grab the other one that I did. This is my one from earlier. So you can see there's a big difference when you do it on a dark surface compared to a light surface. You just need to think about your colors that you choose, because the white shows up on this, but it wouldn't have on this. So that's it for today. I'm going to go ahead and end this, and my night is going to be over soon. And thank you all for watching. I'll be making more tomorrow. Have a good evening.